Singer David seemed to be on his way to major stardom. Millions of online fans, a world tour, but now he's been identified as a suspect in the death of a teenage girl found dead inside of a Tesla that he owned. The singer, whose real name is David Anthony Burke, has not been charged with any crime at this point, so we want to be clear on that. However, multiple sources are saying he's also not cooperating with police, which wasn't an issue earlier in the case. The remains of Celeste Rivas Hernandez were found in September, severely decomposed, and according to reports, new details reveal that Rivas Hernandez most likely died in the spring. The 15-year-old was last seen alive in April of 2024. The LAPD releasing this statement in September, saying that the cause and manner of death for Rivas Hernandez is not yet determined, but it remains unclear whether there is any criminal culpability beyond the concealment of her body. Right now, investigators believe that more than one person was involved in disposing of the teenager's body. So the question we're wondering about this morning, if David is being announced as a suspect, then where are the charges? Let's talk about if charges are coming. Let's bring in our power panel. Still with me, the sheriff in Erie County, Pennsylvania, Sheriff Chris Campanelli, retired NYPD and Nassau County Police Lieutenant and canine expert Mike Gould, and criminal defense and civil attorney, we say he's an attorney to the stars, John Phillips. Good morning to you all. All right, so let's start with why name him as a suspect but not charge him? Is there utility in that from a law enforcement perspective? Lieutenant Mike Gould, I would love for you to kick off our conversation.
Yeah, Julie. Again, thanks for having me. So what just jumps out at me, some of this, the body of a 14-year-old girl, talk about child trafficking, et cetera, that's a side point, and she had supposedly a relationship with this person, was found in the trunk of her car. So to start that, was this certainly she didn't die of natural causes. I don't think anybody would suspect that, to not rule it a homicide right out of the gate. And then, of course, it's his car, so he's a natural suspect in this case. So again, I always wonder the words that people use. As you said, the only possible charge is concealing a homicide or the charge at this point. I don't get it, frankly, and I'm sure we're going to learn a lot more as the investigation goes very quickly. This investigation should unfold very rapidly with digital evidence, cell phone data, and we'll get witnesses, cohorts. He has a business manager, et cetera, that's possibly not involved, but possibly has information about it.
Yeah, you have to wonder what everybody in his circle knows or doesn't know. That's a great point, Lieutenant. Let's talk about what we know about David. So this guy first went viral on TikTok. He said his home is the internet. He's got a lot of followers, 3.9 million plus last time we checked. He released his debut album, Withered, in April. Investigators believe that Celeste Rivas Hernandez died in the spring. He started touring in August, and then with the news of her body being found in his Tesla, canceled his remaining United States and European tour dates. Sheriff Chris Campanelli, let me go to you. So initially, David was said to be cooperating. That was reported early on. We know the Tesla was abandoned for weeks and weeks. Neighbors were saying it was a nuisance, and it wasn't until it was towed to the junkyard that somebody noticed that foul stench and the body was discovered. So he was cooperative when that was what police were starting with. Now things have changed. Now he's no longer cooperating. What does that tell you, Sheriff, please?
Yes, Julia. I mean, I could tell you a number of different things. I mean, he could have advice from counsel to not say anything to law enforcement. It could be that he feels guilt. I mean, that's a possibility as always. Just the fact they found this young lady's body in his vehicle. I mean, he has to know he's a person of interest, a suspect in the case. And I think the local authorities, they don't want to do a lot until they can cross the T's and dot the I's. They want to make sure they've got the evidence they need to charge him.
Yes, Sheriff, correct. And they're still looking for the medical evidence. I have a statement from the medical examiner to Court TV saying that Celeste Rivas Hernandez was found severely decomposed inside of a vehicle on September the 8th. She appears to have been deceased inside the vehicle for an extended period of time before being found. John Phillips, I want to go to you with a couple legal scenarios here. Of course, we could have a homicide here. We could also have an accidental death, as you know. So talk to me here. Let's say you're representing David. Let's say you're in a position to give him advice. With the two scenarios, does the advice to him change in terms of cooperation?
You know, when you start that relationship, you hope it's one of trust and honesty, and that the client is telling you what happened. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But then you've got the three areas that you got to deal with. Civil court, which isn't, you know, right now anything that's anybody's talking about. The parents aren't filing a wrongful death case yet. Criminal court, which is the one that's going to keep you the longest and for good in a case like this. And then the court of public opinion. And it's not just the PR involved when you have a high-profile individual, wealthy, one would presume, individual like this. But, you know, going to the reason why you do leaks and release statements and announce somebody's being investigated is because you could have other whistleblowers. You could have people that understood the complex or the context of their relationship, if any, you know. And so you just got to get a big, you know, get your arms around kind of what really is going on and then craft a unique defense for that individual.
Yes, that's why you're so good at what you do, John Phillips. Lieutenant Gould, you know I love talking to you about interrogations, how I wish I could have watched you interrogating people over the years. So I've thought a lot about this. Let's say you can get David in a room. And let's just say that what's been speculated in the court of public opinion, you know, for many months, that he had a relationship with Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Let's say the speculation is true. So let's say he loves this woman. If you have an opportunity to question him, how do you start that questioning?
Right. So in investigations or interviews, it's really, I don't want to call it a game, minimize it as a game, but you got to get into the person's head. I'm a big fan of befriending somebody. I want to put myself in their shoes, maybe being fault, whatever the circumstances is. I want to be the good cop, always the good cop. And I prefer to do it alone. I don't like other people in the interview room with me because I do want to establish this relationship with them. I take my time. I empathize. Time is on our side. And I want to be the guy that they want to talk to. They want to find Lieutenant Gould. I'll talk to him. I want to be that guy. I don't want to be the one that's judging and being condescending and lecturing. So I just take my time, listen. Time is on our side, and I don't take a lot of notes. I just kind of empathize and get into the person's head and give them time to give me some information.
Sure, smart. Sheriff Campanelli, I want to pick your brain about a problem that perhaps you see more often than you would like to. The problem of runaway children. I mean, here's Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Sometimes I think we have to remind ourselves this is a minor child. So she was allegedly 13, 14. It's been, you know, speculated when she may have first encountered David, and she ran away from home several times. We do know that. We know that there are confirmations that law enforcement was called many times to the house. Sheriff, what would your message be to parents or any family raising a child, you know, who's struggling with that, a child who doesn't want to listen and stay home where they belong?
Another great question. We are so lucky in the day and age that we live in. There are so many resources and assistance available to families. If they have issues with their children, there's many ways to turn. They can go to their offices of children and youth. They can go to a private mental health organization. I mean, there's just so many ways to go, and they got to reach out for that help.
Reach out for help. Absolutely. Well said, Sheriff. And by the way, as we say goodbye to Sheriff Chris Campanelli and Lieutenant Mike Gould, Sheriff, want to congratulate you. You just were reelected in Erie County. The people love you. I do know that. Congratulations, and we're happy to see you this morning. Thanks to you and Lieutenant Gould. John Phillips, thank you. Stand by. You're going to stick with us, and you at home, you can get some more coffee, but come right back to your television set. We got much more coming up on Opening Statements.